So today I'm talking about an offer from stage. Let me start from the beginning. All right. Okay. I want to make sure we know what we're talking about. A service offer is not selling. We're not hard selling from stage. We are inviting. Why? Because that's what the Savior did. And I hesitated to do slides because I want to see your cute faces, and I don't see anyone when I'm doing it this way. I mean, I see a couple people, but I don't see all your cute faces. So here, let me get you so I can see your cute faces, but then it's right in the middle. Does that block the slide for you when I do that? No, you're good. Okay, I'm going to do it skinny over here so I can see. All right, there we go. So we are extending an invitation. Everything we do is an invitation. Even as I'm talking to these women, I'm saying, this is what I do. And I just listened to Elder Bednar's That All In podcast, and he was very factual. He's like, I don't defend the gospel. I don't defend the truth. Did anybody else listen to that yet? That was a great recommendation. Thank you, whoever posted that. But he's like, I don't defend the truth. I just speak it. I just share it, and it speaks for itself. So you're inviting. Your main job is to be very clear about what it is that you're sharing. I'm going to share that in just a second, but it's an invitation, okay? He invites all to come into him and partake of his goodness. They, his missionaries, his apostles, his people, are to warn, expound, exhort, and teach, and invite all to come unto Christ. So when you write your keynote, when you're doing your thing, make sure that you're asking yourself, how am I extending this invitation? Not just for this service offer, but how am I extending the invitation to Christ, to come to Christ? Right? Sometimes it'll be really overt. Sometimes it won't be. It'll be woven through. But whatever it is, you can feel good at that keynote that you know you have extended an invitation to come into Christ through this one big thing or this one way. I want to go back to the mountain. Your service offer, let's think about it for just this moment as part of this success summit, right? The summit of this mountain. You want to get your people up there successfully, joyfully, connectedly. You want to have that apex experience. So as you go through your service offer, there's 3 C's that I want you to consider about your service offer: clarity, curiosity, and confidence. And I'm going to go through each one really quickly. Okay, clarity. There needs to be clarity in what it is that you are offering them. They need to know what's going to be at the top of the mountain. They need to know who they're going to be and what's going to be different about them and their lives with this service offer. So first, you need to make sure that your invitation is extremely clear. What are the outcomes? What is the purpose? What is the process? What is the way that you're going to help them have this particular offer that you are giving them? It's super easy. If you can't remember it and explain it to one of your neighbors in about 1 minute, it's too complicated and it's too long. When I'm talking to these women on a discovery call, I find out what it is. Well, I want to talk about that in the next point. So I'll talk about the next point. When I'm talking about what I'm offering, I just tell them I do 2 things. That's it. I do retreats and leadership circle. And this is how they go together. First, I'm going to share about the retreat, and then let me know if this resonates or if you have any questions. Then I give them a very short, we do 4 M's, blah, 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 blah. And this is the purpose, and this is what you'll do, and this is what you'll leave with. And then I say, how does that resonate with you? And they're like, wow, I really like that. And I say, okay, do you have any questions about it? And that's where they naturally go into questions so that I know exactly what's on their mind. I don't have to guess, but I am super clear about what it is I'm offering, what the takeaways are, and what the process is in order for them to do it. Because they'll say, okay, so if I want to do this, what do I do? How do I get in there? How do I register? I have to have a very clear, easy thing. I'll send you the link. As soon as we're done talking here, I'll send the link, and you can go on and you can look around, or you can go on and register. And that's where I say, and I'll send you the discount code so that you can get the discount code for it. There's a variety of ways to do it, but just so you know. Okay, so that's clarity. The second thing is we want to create curiosity. We want to show them that we know how to get to the top of the mountain, that credibility, right? And create curiosity that we have found a really cool way to do that, to get to the top of the mountain. Either it's going to be better, faster, or happier. It's going to be one of those. You're going to have a shortcut. It's just going to be more fulfilling and connected, or I'm going to give you something that's never been used before that's just going to make it so much better. You're going to do something that is going to be unique and what we call signature, right? So you've got to show that you've done that, and now you're turning around and showing them how to do it. The best and most important way And this, if you don't remember anything today, ladies, is you've got to nail your pain point. Either pain point or ideal life, but if you have to choose between the two, it's pain point. People can think warm, fuzzy thoughts about ideal life all the time. And that's hard for me to say because I talk about purpose and I talk about those things. But the thing for pain point for purpose is that people get to that divine discontent and they can't stand being in that space anymore. They have got to figure out what it is that's wrong, what's amiss, what is it that they're not fulfilling. It's a pain point. So you need to have a clear pain point and a clear solution. We're going to talk about this today. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We're going to talk about it in the DTLC. And I'm going to have you take time and think about the pain point and make sure you have your clear solution. So I'm not going to take time to do that now, but do take time to do that on your own. Either if you're not going to be the DTLC today, do it on your own or do it with us today when you come on. So the pain point is super huge. When you know their pain point, in fact, it was so funny because Elder Bednar was talking about this very thing. He said, I go places and I ask questions, and it's not because I think I know all the answers. He said, I'm finding out where they're at and what's on their mind. What did the Savior do? He always asked a question, always ask questions. Why? So that we could state it. Did he know what their concerns were? Yeah, absolutely. Five Speed Artists, of course, absolutely. He knew what they needed, but notice he always but compelled people to say the answer themselves, to own where they are. And part of that reason, in my opinion, remember Adam and Eve, where are you? Like, what are you doing? And who told you that you were naked, right? All those questions. You want them to tell you more information so you can see if your solution fits their pain point and will solve it. So think about that. That's your most important thing. Your keynote should have either 3 pain points that you solve or 1 pain point that you solve 3 ways, or a pain point, an ideal life, and maybe another pain point or something like that, but it should have something that you are addressing those key needs of those people. That's absolutely huge. Let me make sure I got everything on curiosity. Ways to do curiosity. Okay, some ways to do curiosity is just like Wendy Jones did, is you can take them through the steps of your keynote and you can wisely add in those spots where they would best fit these different tools. So for example, the beginning of what you do, say you have your 3 sections. At the end of your first section, this is not the 11th commandment, but I have found that this is a very helpful way to do things. At the end of your first section, offer a free tool and a very useful tool. Very useful. Like I talk about purpose, and then I'll offer my free pie statement and my purpose challenge. It's got little videos, got the download packet, and it's free. Just give it to them free. And then I just give it to them free. Now you can either put the QR code on right there and give it to them free, or you can say, I'm going to show you that in just I'll show you at the end. I'll give you the QR code that you can get that freebie. Okay. So either way is fine, but give them a free thing. That helps them to know I am in it for you. I'm not here to try to get something out of you because you're not. You're trying to find a fit. And the second thing is in the middle, that's where you're going to do your soft service offer. It's going to be a story or a soft story that's where I usually talk about like my retreat and what I do for women. Saying, if you want to fulfill your purpose, here's the way other people have done it. And this is how I work with them. And I worked with her and she wasn't sure about this. And so we went through and we used these tools and then we figured it out. And then this is what she's doing now. And I will do that generally in the middle-ish section. This is not a hard science. Although some people say you have to do your offer at 2/3. And I agree, it's better at 2/3. And we'll talk about that in a second. But in the middle section, that's where you probably want to have your soft service offer, which is you're just telling about what you do and your show don't tell, you're showing the success of what you do. And if you can do a couple of quick examples, that's a great idea, great thing. Or you can just do one main example that is really memorable, and that's also really good. Anytime you can distill it down to one solid, cool thing, that's a great idea. And then you want to be able to use these different tools. So in the middle section, when you're saying, oh, and I did this, and this is what this gal did, and this is how it all turned out, that's also a time that if you don't want to do a free offer in the first section, that's when you could do a free offer as well in that second section, if that's better. You just have to see what flows best for your content, your information. Sometimes I'm not leading with purpose, and it goes in the middle. So just whatever kind of goes in that section, you're doing that soft service offer, and then you can have that free offer, or you can say right there, you can tease your actual service offer. You can tease it. It's a soft service offer. You can say, you know, and I have actually this tool. I took them through this mapping thing, and I have this beautiful tool that takes you through how to do it. And I'm going to get that to you at the end. I don't want to stop and take more time on it now, but at the end, I'll tell you more about it and how you can get it if you're interested in doing that. And then move on. Does that make sense? You're not going to stand and spend a lot of time on it. You're just creating curiosity. So people are like, oh, open file drawer. I want to know more about that. That sounds really good. But you're moving this forward because you're not all about you. You're about how can I get you more takeaways. The middle section is a good time to give another effective tool. It doesn't have to be a giveaway, but a tool, something that they've done. So like I have them create a sentence, like at the divorce conference, I had them create a sentence of the I am statement and 3 words. And they loved that. So it was a tool. It wasn't a takeaway. It was just a tool. Again, you're just giving them lots of good, significant content, okay? And then on the 2/3 is where you probably want to make your actual service offer, where you want to say you got your retreat coming up and blah, blah, blah. You use another example and then you say, if you want to be a part of our retreat, we would love to have you come and we can teach you how to use power tools and you can make a difference. Notice I'm using outcomes, make a difference in other people's lives, or you can donate if you can't make it to that one. We'd love to have your help. We have sponsors, national sponsors, and they do the same thing. We'd love to have you involved. Here's the QR code if you'd like to be a part of it. I mentioned before that I would show it later. So here's the QR code. If you want more information, just go right ahead and check it out there. Does that make sense? And then at the very end, that's where you want to do your final testimonial, your best story if you can. If you did your second best story at the beginning and then your best story at the end, that's ideal, or you can flip it. But your best story for ending, of cementing this, of bookending it. You can even bookend the first story like we taught before, where you bookend the first story and you left them kind of hanging a little bit, or there was more detail to the first story that you didn't add that was really significant. And then, boom, you pop it down at the bottom. You say, remember when I was sharing at the beginning about this, that man that was in prison and he got out? Well, he is second in command in the United States. Okay, so that's Joseph of Egypt story, and I was just kind of playing with it. But you know what I'm saying? So you add that sort of pop piece at the end that's like the, oh my word, that was even more amazing than I thought. So create curiosity. A QR code for your freebie or your service offer. I like to just give them more information if it's a high-end offer. If it's small, then you can do a QR code for that. But I personally find that women don't necessarily like selling from stage, like being sold to from stage, unless you have whet their curiosity and their appetite that they're like, and they can get it for like a great deal. If you're going to service offer from stage, use a coupon, use some kind of a discount, because that's the reason why you're giving it to them. And there's different coupons I've used for different people. I've been like, you know what, today for this conference, I'm giving you guys 30% off. So just so you know, that's available. You have to do what's comfortable for you. If you're just better about, I have a booth outside and I actually have a 30% coupon if you're interested in whatever we have today in what we offer, just make sure you use this coupon, put the slide up, make sure you use this coupon, take a picture of it, and you can just show them at the booth that if you choose to do something with that, which would be wonderful, just know you can use that 30% coupon today. And you're not even telling them what you have. You're just saying, I'm giving you a 30% coupon off for being here today. All right, then go to the next thing. You can use the text number. I love text numbers. If you pay extra, you can get it to be a word. We've done 5-day for 5-day challenge. There's slick text and there's, what's the other one? Join by text. I think it's called join by text. I love the text numbers you can get. The way they have different packages and different people do it differently, but you can get up to 5 numbers for different things. So you can have different opt-ins, and that's really easy. You put that up. People with QR codes still go, oh, I don't know, but there's usually someone next to them who's like, hey, this is how you do it. But the text, everyone can text. They just open their phone and they text. And that's where you want to share a story when you put that text up. So it gives them time to text. I have people saying, can you go back to the slide? You know, and it's really annoying. So put it up and share a story that cements what you're talking about and gives them a minute to text, not forever, because then they're going to feel like she's just trying to sell me. So then give them that for a beat, tell the story, and then move to the next thing. Also, evaluations are great. For a long time, I did print. I know Michelle McCullough still does print. You get great testimonials off of a print evaluation. And I would put a dotted line at the bottom and just have them fold it and rip it. And they could keep the coupon or the promo that I was doing or whatever it was and hand back in the evaluation. And on the evaluation, I would ask for their email if they felt comfortable giving it. And then I would ask them the evaluation questions. And then I would ask for any comments. And that's where you're going to get great testimonials. You could also just have them do a survey, and you could have a QR code to that survey, and you could have them take it right there. Say, could you take 1 minute? Literally, it's just filling in the bubble dots. And then if you have a sentence or two that you want to share at the end, great. We're just going to take a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to draw from these surveys. I'm going to draw for these little goodies. And maybe you give a book, or maybe you give a free course, or maybe you give a whatever. Depends on your venue. You would not do this in the cultural hall at Stake Center. So just saying, in my opinion. But think about your venue and think if it's an expo, if it's a fun girls, if it's a Pinterest conference, oh my gosh, they're all about the goodies. Like, give me my goodies, right? So those are just some ideas. One super cool thing they just did at NSA the other night, Mike Rayburn. Did anybody watch it? Did anybody see it online? He is legendary, and he's a musician, and he's just amazing. Anyway, he spoke at different times all day long and then the evening session. Well, he seeded in the early sessions, he seeded that, hey, I'm going to ask you to share an idea that is a cool idea that's going to benefit everyone in the room with what it is they're trying to move forward, as well as yourself. And whoever has the best idea, I'm going to give an amazing gift to. And he said, it's going to be so worth your while. You will not believe what I'm going to give you. And so what's happening? He has primed the pump. Everyone's thinking at 4 o'clock, what is this cool idea that I can do for myself and others? Genius, because now he can share that in another keynote. So he did that. And then at the evening one, he said, okay, who's got the best idea? He heard from the ideas, chose this guy to come down. He came down, shared his idea. And Mike said, that's a phenomenal idea. That's fantastic. Then he said, here's what I'm going to give you. Gave him a book and then gave him a flash drive that had all of these tips and tools from Mike Rayburn. Well, everyone's like, wow, that's great. That's good. He's like, I told you that I was going to make it worth your while and give you something unforgettable. He took his guitar that he has played all over the globe and gave this guy his guitar and then autographed it right there on stage. Why was that genius? What do you think everyone's doing? They're pulling out their phones, they're posting on social media, they're saying this is incredible. Now, yes, he is doing something that is going to generate buzz. Well, yeah, absolutely. But was it authentic to him? Yes. Mike and his guitar are two peas in a pod. And what he was saying is, I have a speaker academy and I'm going to show you how to do things that are significant, that are unique and authentic to you. And he was his own ad. What he was doing was significant. It was wow factor. It was like, holy cow. He gave us content and tools all day long. So was it worth it? Did we feel like he was just selling us? No. He gave us value all day and then gave up this guitar. Holy cow. I'm talking about it right here in our thing. So something to consider. What does that look like for you? And then the last one is confidence. If you are speaking, I'm just going to stop right here because we're out of time and it's 10 o'clock. So I am going to do this very, very fast. When you are speaking, I know I've said it before, but you've got to go into your bold disciple, thought leader self. That whole, I pulled that scripture strip the other day from Moroni, and our scripture strips and said, and I, Moroni, will not deny the Christ. You can feel his conviction. Like, you're not going to mess with him. You're not going to move him. You've got to have your conviction, that confidence in the Lord that says, I know that I'm doing the right thing. I've got the Spirit confirming it and witnessing it. I am in the right place and I'm making the right service offer. If you can't speak that service offer with joy and with, you want this, like you want this. I know it's going to bless your life. If you can't speak it from that space, it's not the right service offer. You've got to have an offer that you can totally emotionally and spiritually get behind. So whatever that looks like for you, if you're having a hard time saying that, then figure it out. A lot of times I'll say it out loud. And I've had coaches who worked this with me and said, oh, how much do I need to charge? And I say, okay, 500. No, that's not right. 700. No, that's not right. Like 1,000. Okay, yeah, now that's better. That feels better. Before that, I felt resentful because of the things that I was going to give them, all the things I was going to think and all the doing I'm going to do in the back end for them. They have no idea. When I was doing these BR programs, they had no idea all the work that I was putting into it. But God knew, and my soul knew. So I knew a price when we hit it, and I was like, and then I'd be like, yes, that feels good. Then I could speak it without any worry. And if you have a concern about you're like, well, I know it's this value, but I know they're not going to be able to pay it. Well, you don't know, but I think they're going to be able to pay it. Then give them options in order to make it happen. Just the gal that I talked to the other day, she's like, okay, I can do this, but I have to do it this way. Will that work? Well, it totally worked within our parameters. We have about 3 different ways that people can do the retreat. And I'm like, yes, this totally works. So I invite you to find those stair steps, to find the way that you can say, this will actually work and it will work for you. And I know that it will, if you've already qualified them, you know their pain point, you know this fills it, you know it makes a match, you can say with confidence, yes, I know this is going to work for you. Are you interested? Does it resonate? What's your desire? Scale 1 to 10. Okay, then we can work together. This is going to be a great thing for you.